might or might not already know this, but I'm learning British Sign Language, or BSL. Why? Because I am deaf. Lockdown made me forget exactly how deaf I actually am, because I was sat literally here filming videos, talking only to you guys, not wearing my hearing aids because I didn't need to speak to anybody, and then coming out of lockdown, did I forget how I can't hear anything. As you may or may not know, my partner Cameron is a drag king and they do shows now every month, and I went to go and support them and watch their shows and, you know, swoon over how cute they are. And that involved being in a group and having people say hello to me and me not hearing what they said. It has just sort of hammered home that I need to be learning, and I need to be learning properly. Which is why I'm making this video, for sort of accountability. So I want to be signing more in my videos and signing more in general, and you know, I want just to let you know that I am learning and you can expect some more BSL hopefully. I even mentioned that I was learning British Sign Language in my 70 plus things you could do during lockdown, which I will put a link to up here, considering we are now heading for a second one. I showed off this book, which actually turned out to not be that helpful, because signs move, books don't. It's got some good information in it, so I've read and learned a lot about the deaf community, even though I have been engaging with some of the deaf community. I have deaf friends. Just chatting with deaf people about deafness is much better than reading it in a book, but it did have some useful things for if you don't have any deaf friends to talk to about it. But actually learning signs and how to sign and anything about signing British Sign Language, very, very difficult. So instead I have been taking Intro to BSL with signbsl.co.uk. I'll put a link down in the description below and maybe in a pinned comment if I remember, but also this video is not sponsored at all. At the beginning of lockdown they lowered their prices from £25 to a minimum of £3, but you could pay according to how much you earn and how much you wanted to give. I paid the full £25 because at the time I could, and by paying £25 it sort of funded other places to be paid at £3. And that is done online, and it's sort of a do it at your own pace. You watch videos, take in the information, and then hopefully you can sign back and understand the signs that they include in the modules. Being Intro to BSL, this should come as a given, but it does not qualify me to teach. It doesn't really qualify me for anything. It's not really a qualification, it's more of a taster course. But as a deaf person, the signs that I'm learning in Intro to BSL are very helpful. So any signs that you see me doing, they are not intended to be educational. I am not teaching you by signing. Like, by speaking English, I am not teaching you how to speak English, I'm just speaking it. So I'm just signing. If you do copy from me, please be mindful that I am not fluent. Fluency doesn't happen overnight. I'm not qualified to teach, and the signs that I am signing could easily be wrong. So just bear that in mind. So far I'm about halfway through Intro to BSL. What I've done so far is the alphabet, although I did already actually know the alphabet from when I was very small. Numbers, new numbers. Basic questions like what, where, when, how, why. The colours, I like colours. Recently I just did animal signs, and those are my favourite, I can't lie to you. Especially the marine signs, which you will have seen if you watched the 4.5 minute fish montage that occurred in my last video. I'll put a link to it up there so you can watch. We saw penguins, which I signed, we saw fish, which I signed, we saw sharks, which I signed, and a turtle, which I signed. And there was some more in there. Definitely go and check that out, because I'm actually really proud of that montage and the rest of the video, but I hate to say it, more so the actual fish, because it was so much fun to make. Some of my favourite signs. I really like the sign for thing or something. That's very good. Whale is a good sign. Caterpillar, I like caterpillar. It's really hard to come up with favourite signs off the top of my head, which is pretty standard for Intro to BSL. The sign for pigeon, genius. Pigeon, great fun. Swan is a big sign and I'm here for it. Bird signs and fish signs, chef's kiss. Octopus, very good. To help me learn, I have been making cue cards. I got this from Wilco. And it's just the modules. The first one, because it was so like basic and it went in my head really well, I didn't really write too much. It was just sort of a little bit about the grammar, because Intro to BSL won't really teach you much about BSL grammar and how to string any sentence together, but it will teach you some key phrases in the BSL word order. So name you what, for example, instead of what's your name. So I just wrote a little bit of those and some basic questions and things about questions. So that's like the how, what, where, when, why. Ask, question. It's left-handed because I put this in the wrong hand. And then there was another module for place names, which I have also done. I did them all sorts of in different colours, and then for example, I don't know whether you'll be able to see this because of the lighting, but I split it into 4 and then I put the word that I want to sign, and then on the back I described in my own words, using the words that they give you on Intro to BSL, how to sign it. Jobs, we've got jobs as well, so like boss, bus driver, doctor, builder, interpreter, nurse. Nurse is a good sign. I like the sign for nurse. And then I also kept an assessment log, because at the end of each module you take an assessment where they play a video and you say what the sign is, and I've just kept a log of what scores I got, when, and I keep going back to each module and doing the assessment again before I learn a new module. And then we've got my animal signs, and I haven't finished making my lesson 4 cards yet because it does take time. That's where I'm at with my learning. I will be continuing this, and I'm hoping that you're gonna see some more signs in future videos. I would really love to be able to sign my outro, but I don't think like and subscribe is covered in Intro to BSL. Don't forget to like this video, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time, with at least one bonus video every single month. See ya!